Welcome to our fourth session of Advanced Power Searching with Google, and we will begin with a warm-up relating to Salman Rushdie's book Satanic Verses. And this actually led a leading Muslim scholar and political activist to give a lecture at a top university regarding the novelist freedom versus the worshipper's dignity. Now the question is, at what university was this, and what's the title of a documentary film that the scholar produced concerning African heritage? So we will find out who the scholar is based on this lecture on the novelist freedom versus the worshipper's dignity. And once we know who the scholar's name is, we will go ahead and use it to find the documentary film that he produced regarding African heritage. So let's go ahead and open a new tab, and in here we will search the words. Let's use novelist freedom versus worshipper's dignity. And let's see what that pulls up. We have Power Searching with Google as our first result. The Mazruian collection revisited, Ali A. Mazrui debating something. Oh, we see here the novelist freedom versus the worshipper's dignity. Same here, there's a book and another book. So let's go ahead and check out this second link. And in here there are a couple of good leads. For instance, we see the novelist freedom versus the worshipper's dignity, the moral dilemma of Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses, and this was presented at Cornell University, New York, March 1, 1989. We also see here the author, Ali A. Mazrui. So we basically have the answer to the first question, at what university this was, because we are told this was at Cornell University. But let's go ahead and just cross-check. Let's go ahead and look for Ali Mazrui lecture at Cornell University and see what, well, this will give us a long list. Ali Mazrui lecture. Let's try worshipper's dignity. Locally produced video cassette, and this is at Cornell Africana Studies. So we see that he is affiliated to Cornell University, which gives us some confidence that we have the right person. So let's go back and look for Ali Mazrui documentary on Africa, Ali Mazrui documentary on Africans heritage. And we are searching the web, so we see the Africans, a triple heritage, Ali Mazrui's The Nature of the Continent, triple heritage, and Motherland film, Africans, a triple heritage. So it seems like it's a recurring listing in the results. This is a page at an organization which is listing films by Mazrui, and that points us to a possible candidate, the Afrikaans a triple heritage. We have some summary, and so we know the answer to the second question. Of course, you can go ahead and cross-check and just make sure, but at this point we can confidently say that the name of the documentary is Afrikaans a Triple Heritage. Let's move on to the next challenge, and this is one of the challenges that were offered as part of the finals in the MOOC that was offered by Google, and it concerns block print books. Salman Khan asks, I recently estimated a current day equivalent cost for a family to buy a block print book before the invention of the Gutenberg press. To what contemporary item was the cost of a book compared? And can you find other sources that back up or contradict the calculation of this book? Now let's go ahead and see what we can find out about the estimate, the current estimate of a block print book. And I'm not even sure what a block print book is, so I'm gonna start with just familiarizing myself with a block print book. And so we have some listings from Wikipedia and other sources. Let's see what this says. It has the description, the printing method. We have some dates and locations, some history, a good introduction to this topic. If I look at some of the images, just to get familiar of what a block print book really is. So it seems like these were books printed on wooden blocks, short books up to 50 leaves, printed in Europe, second half 15th century, and so on. Anyway, we'll go ahead and search for block print book cost and so on. I think that we need a little better information, and let's look at our question again. Salman Khan asked a recently estimated current day equivalent. Now he says that he estimated. What if we looked for block print book estimate? Publishing book estimate, what people say. I will add Salman Khan to see if this pulls out something. The One World Schoolhouse, Education Reimagined, that's a book by Salman Khan. But yeah, this requires us to buy a book, so we'll skip that. Let's see, we have a PDF of the One World Schoolhouse, and this is actually coming out of Denmark. You can see from the web address DK. The One World Schoolhouse, if you do a search inside this document for, let's look for the word comparable, and that might give us the information we searched for. So we see on top of that, some are earning enough money during the, so this is comparable, not what we're looking for. A figure comparable to that. Let's see. Okay, then came the primitive block printing, and what we see here is that depending on the number of prints, so it's hard to inflation adjust. But he talks of a single book would have been comparable in cost to a nice luxury car. Now this is his estimate, so we know the answer to the two questions. So it was comparable to a cost of a car, a luxury car. Now, can you find other sources that back up or contradict the calculation in this book? That would be a nice activity to now look for other sources, block print, comparable cost. Let's see. We might want to look for types, file type, PDF, and see if that yields any documents that will either contradict or confirm the cost that the estimate that we found. And so that's something that you can do on your own. Follow up and see if you get some good answers to that question. In our next activity, we are presented with a picture. It was taken at an intersection of two streets with names starting with S. What's the name of the city where the picture was taken, and what vessels might you see to the north of this picture? So we need two things, the name of the city and some vessels. Now, I'll give you a quick hint. We will download this image and see if we can just quickly find this specific snapshot in the images. Let's go to this link. It's a bit.ly z/zzbpy7. So let's go to this link. It's a bit.ly, it's a shortened link, bit.ly/zzbpy7, and it's case sensitive, but this is an open folder, and within this folder here I would like you to download this image. So you can save image to downloads, and now here it is. We have town.png. This is the image that we will use. So I will position my image and the rest of the window such that I'm able to search within this window, but also be able to drag and drop images. So I have my images and I have the search window. Let me go to images.google.com. And so you see we are in Google Images. Let's drag and drop the picture in here, and let's see. It will upload the file. That did not necessarily yield any good results, and so we'll try the next option, which is to just open the image and take a look at it to see if we can find any good information. So let's zoom in a little, and you're starting to notice something. You can see the names, you can see names, there's a poster here, and this is a trick that one participant used, they just searched for this location. They searched for some of the words here, the names, and then searched for this place. This must be a post advertising some event. So let's go to just the web and look for stuff. Oh, and we have a map here. And it seems this is a place in Norway. So let's go to the map. And this is a good lead because we have a map and we can zoom in and see if we can find some information. Let's go back to the problem. It says it was taken at an intersection of two streets with the names starting with S. Let's see. Near here we see a street with S, another street with S, and it makes me feel that we might be talking about this region here. Now let's get the pegman and position him on the street here. Let's see what we get. Oh, look. I think we are very close. Let's walk up here and see. If I turn this image around, you see something here. It's as if we have, oh look, that is the poster. And this is the image that very similar to what we were looking at. So if you compare this image and where we are standing at right now, it's pretty much it. With the sign, the parking sign, the building at the back, with the bathrooms sign, this is exactly the location. Now, what's the name of the city? So we found that. Vessels that you might see north of this picture. So let's go back to the map. And so north of this picture, north would be in this direction. So let's see if we can move in this direction and just walk there. Let's keep walking north and see if we can. Okay, there is a vessel parked here. Yes, this must be the vessel that they are referring to. There is a name on it. So we seem to be right here. Let me zoom out a little. And I could also do a Google Earth version of it, and this is just to show you additional resources that are available. And look at that. Very, very interesting. So this is where we were standing. This is the vessel that we just saw. And so this gives you another option. That's just a picture of one of the images that we got to see. And so those are some tools and examples of ways that you might resolve this particular question. Our next problem will require us to use a diverse set of skills and resources in order to resolve. It goes at the World Fair for which this building was constructed. A composer had a full orchestra playing a traditional form of music from an island that was once home to the Sundra Kingdom. In later years, he composed many pieces inspired by elements of this musical form. Who the composer is, the name of this style, what current day country does it originate, and so on. We'll first need to figure out what building this is, unless you already know. And then we will find out what World Fair it was built for. So we will use image search to familiarize ourselves with the building and then continue using the search resources available, including news, scholar, books, and so on, and that will help us resolve the World Fair part of the question. We will continue with this question in our next presentation. Thank you.